All right, so this is an ALEKS topic that's called multiplication and division of measurements. And I've been getting quite a few questions on this, so I just wanted to go over it pretty quickly. In this case, for all of these proposed multiplication or division, they're always going to be possible. We can always multiply or divide no matter what the units are, because we can carry the units through essentially. So in this top case, for instance, I've got 1.0 grams times 5.0 liters, and even though those units are different, well, in my final answer, I can just use those units as grams times liters. So this one, 1.0 times 5 is obviously 5.0, so paying attention to my number of sig figs here, and then my units for that are just going to be grams times liters. For this next one, I've got meters times meters. So again, obviously that's possible. We're going to end up with meters squared. Meters times meters is meters squared. And I can do 2 times 9 is equal to 18. Now, we'll want to have 2 sig figs, and ALEKS likes it if we put that decimal point there. 18 decimal point, that indicates 2 sig figs. And then my units will be meters squared. For this last one, this is where things get a little tricky, and I think these are the ones that give people the most problems. So this last one, we're going to need to do a conversion before we do the calculation. And we're always going to want to convert, sort of, in this case, the thing on the bottom that is not squared. So when something's squared, that unit is squared, it makes it a little bit more difficult or a little bit more tricky to actually do the conversions properly. But if I just have 0.020 grams and I want to convert this to milligrams, it's really straightforward, and then it will give us an easy, easy thing to calculate. So if I want to convert this to grams, well, then I need to think about conversion factors. So when I think about conversion factors, I like to think about conversion factors as big numbers. Instead of thinking about 10 to the minus third or 10 to the minus second or 10 to the minus whatever, that doesn't really make sense to me. What makes sense to me and what I like looking at is 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams, or 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams, or 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. These are the types of things that I like to use as conversion factors and sort of, a good way to think about it. So if I want to convert grams to milligrams, I'm going to use this top conversion factor. And the way that I would do that would be 0.020 grams times 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram, using my conversion factor here. My units of grams will cancel out, and I will get to an answer of 20. And then I'll put a decimal point there to have the correct number of sig figs. Right, I've got 2 sig figs here. I want to have 2 sig figs in my answer, 20 milligrams. And then I can do that calculation, right? 180 milligrams divided by 20 milligrams. Maybe I'll just write it right here. 180 milligrams squared divided by 20 milligrams. So my units of milligrams, one of them will cancel out. One of these will cancel out. So my final answer will have units of milligrams, and then just doing this calculation will be 9.0 milligrams. So 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs. This number has 3 sig figs, right? But we need to have the same number of sig figs in our final answer as the least number in our answer here. So this would be 9.0 milligrams for that last one. Let's do one more set. So I've got one more example here that we haven't seen before. So this top one, I've got grams per milliliters. I can just do that calculation quickly. 45 divided by 9 is going to end up being 5.0 grams over milliliters, right? So grams per milliliter, that would be my unit there. Here I've got grams and grams, so we're just going to be multiplying those together again. So this will end up being 5 times 4 is 20. 20 dot, so if you want to be correct with your sig figs, that indicates 2 sig figs, grams to the third power. And this bottom one, here we have DL, deciliters or decaliters, I've heard it say. This is not a very common unit, so if you're frustrated by this, I'm sorry. The conversion will be 1 liter equals 10 DL, deciliters. So we can use the same conversion. I'm going to want to convert the bottom one, like I said earlier. I want to convert the thing that's not squared or not to the third power. This is just a little bit more convenient. So if I wanted to do that conversion, 0.60 liters times 10 DL over 1 liter gives me 6.0 deciliters. I would do that calculation now, and then for this one, 54 divided by 6 is 9. So I would end up with 9.0 DL as my final answer, because as I said earlier, one of these is going to cancel out, right? DL squared over DL would just be DL deciliters. All right, so that's how you do that. Let me know if you have any more questions.